Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my name is Greg Young, and I'm coming to you live from Davenport, Florida this morning. And this morning, I just want to say happy Monday to everybody, and I hope you're having an awesome Monday this morning. And on this morning, I'm going to talk about it's time for our poverty mindset to change. And the reason why I'm going to talk about this subject is because a lot of people stay where they are in life because their mindset, they believe in, what we were taught. We know growing up, everybody, our parents taught us go to school, get good grades, graduate with honors, go to college, and get a good job. In which there's nothing wrong with that philosophy, but when you do those things like that, number one, you end up time broke because you have no time to spend with your family because you spend more time on the job. Number two, you end up living from paycheck to paycheck. And if you went to college and you got a 4-year bachelor degree, then now you end up drowning in student loan debt from about $80,000 to $100,000 in student loan debt. But the reason why I'm saying it's time for our mindset to change because we have been for so long in this program of being programmed like a robot to do certain things. Like say, for instance, if you have a 9 to 5, you're programmed like a robot. Whatever time you get, if you gotta be at work at 9, you're programmed to get up in between 6:30 and 7 o'clock every morning. And you continue that routine, and then you go to that job, and then you work on that job, and then you come home and you come back, and that's your lifestyle. But now it's time for you to change your lifestyle. And the only way you can change your lifestyle is if you change your thinking pattern process. You got to be able to believe for more and know that you can have more. And you also got to be able to, the first step to changing your thinking pattern process is to being able to open up your mind like a parachute and see things different. See, a lot of people, don't feel like it's nothing wrong with what's going on in their life, and they don't feel like they need to change because they get comfortable. And the thing is, when you get comfortable, you accept where you are, and now you believe that you can't go no farther. But what I'm saying to you this morning in my morning life wake ups is that it's time for us to change our poverty mindset. We've got to get away from thinking like this. Okay, well, I grew up middle class and my parents never had nothing, so I'm never going to have nothing. As long as your mindset is triggered on you never going to have nothing and never going to be successful, you're never going to be successful. You got to be able to change your conscious mindset way of how we've been taught and what we've been able to believe, and stop limiting ourselves and stop limiting our beliefs on what we can and cannot achieve, because we don't know what we can and cannot achieve until we try. But as long as we stay trapped in that poverty mindset to believe that all we can work is a 9 to 5 because, we make excuses with ourselves and we say, well, I didn't graduate from high school, or I only got a high school diploma and no one will hire me. That's all I can do. Well, see, the thing is, what you have to realize when you have that type of mindset of negativity flowing in your head before you even try to get to accomplish something or do something, now you have gotten comfortable with that poverty mindset of believing that you cannot have no more than what you actually have right now. So what I'm saying to you this morning in my morning life wake ups is that it's time for us to change that poverty mindset and rise above poverty. So many people live in poverty because they believe in poverty. So many people live in poverty because they think poverty. If you have a poverty mindset, you're going to have a poverty living. You got to believe that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve, no matter how hard it is, no matter what the obstacles are, no matter what the struggles are along the way. You got to believe that you can do more. You got to believe that you can do more than building somebody else's wealth, going to a 9 to 5 each and every day, to a job that you hate going to listening to people that that's not going to give you good advice. The only way you're going to get away from your poverty mindset is you got to change. You got to change your mindset and your way of thinking. You got to transform your mind from poverty to success. And if you believe in success and you breathe success and you strive for success, sooner or later success will come. You know, because I say this all the time. Whatever the mind can conceive, it can achieve. If you can conceive a picture of and visualization of being successful, and you keep that picture of and visualization of being successful in your head for a long period of time, sooner or later, that in visualization picture of success is you have created a virtual reality inside of your head of it. And sooner or later, if you keep striving and you keep working hard, you're gonna that's gonna come to a reality. That success level is gonna come to you because you want it. But the thing is about it, if you want to get out of poverty, you got to stop thinking poverty. You got to stop believing in poverty. You got to stop listening to those people that are living in poverty. You cannot take advice from somebody that's living the same way you live it. You cannot take advice from somebody that don't have more money in their bank account than what you have. You got to take advice from people that have went where you want to go so they can help you get there. You know, it's just like, say for instance, if you was a basketball player, you wouldn't take advice from a football player on how to throw a basketball, right? So the same way, if someone's lifestyle is no better than yours and you're trying to get ahead in life, then you don't want to take that advice from that person, because the thing is, a person that's living in poverty, the only thing they can do is teach you how to stay in poverty, because their mindset is not focused on moving on and going on to the next level and getting to the next level and doing the necessary things that they need to do in order to be able to survive and get to this next level in life to where they want to go. And that's why you cannot take advice from broke people. You cannot take advice from people that's not doing nothing. You know, you got to figure out the way for your own, and you got to pave your own way to success. And I'm here to tell you right now, if you allow yourself to keep taking advice from people that don't have no more than what you have, you're going to stay in poverty. But if you want to rise above poverty, change your mind, change your thinking pattern process, change the way you do things, change your whole character of who you are as a whole. Because once you realize, see, this is what we need to realize. If we've been doing something for a long period of time and it hasn't gotten us no further than where we were the day before, then that should let us know that whatever it is that we're doing is not working. And we're keeping ourselves living in poverty and trapped in poverty because we believe that we cannot do no better than what we're doing. But what we have to realize is that our mind is only as strong as we allow it to be. And what I mean by that, the things that you listen to, the people that you listen to, the people that you hang around, all those people is the development of your mind. And if you listening to people that's not doing nothing, you're going to be the next person that's not doing nothing. If you listening to people that's complaining about staying and living in poverty, you're going to be in that same lifestyle, living in that same poverty lifestyle that they're living in, because you're listening to what they're saying, and they're not teaching you how to get out of living in a poverty lifestyle. They're teaching you how to stay there because they're comfortable and they want to stay there themselves as well. So what we have to realize, if we want to rise above living a poverty lifestyle, because like I say, it's time for us to change our it's time for us to change our poverty mindset. And the only way we're going to change our poverty mindset is that we got to believe more. We got to achieve more. We got to go for more. We got to do more. We got to hang around people that's doing more than what we're doing. We got to hang around people that's going where we want to go. You know, it's just like, say for instance, if if you're traveling down a road with no destination, then you don't know where you're going. But if you're traveling down a road and you have a visualization of a picture in your head of what you want, then you can get what you want. But see, we stay in poverty because we don't know what we want. We settle for what we have because we believe that's what we want. But then we turn around and now we realize that that's not what we want. But then we stay in that poverty living because we have fear of not being able to move on because we feel like we cannot do it. We have fear of failure. And that's our biggest thing that keep us living in poverty. Our lives are living in poverty because of our belief system. We limit our belief system to what we can and cannot accomplish. But what I'm saying to you this morning, it's time for us to change our poverty mindset. It's time to change our poverty mindset. It's time for us to do that. You know, we need to change our poverty mindset and our poverty way of living so we can rise above, because I guarantee you, each and every one of us want more in life, but we're not willing to go through the sacrifices and do what it takes to get more. So therefore, we stay comfortable at where we are, and we make excuses to what we cannot do when we don't even give it a try. You know, we will judge something before we even take a look at it, before we even know the benefits of what it can do for us. We will judge it because of our mindset, our poverty mindset, in which it's just our subconscious, it's just our conscious mind way of living. And we need to learn how to deprogram that conscious mind way of living and program this subconscious mind way of living, because once we can do that, now we can rise above living in poverty, being in poverty, doing all these things that poverty people do, that poverty living style people do. You know, the thing is about it, we don't have more because we're not willing to do more. We don't have more because we're not willing to sacrifice more. We don't have more because we don't believe we can have more. We don't have more because we don't go out and achieve more. And those are the things that keep us living in poverty. So what we need to realize is what I'm saying to you, it's time for us. It's time for our life to stop living in poverty. It's time to change our poverty mindset. Basically, because if you don't change your poverty mindset, you're going to live in poverty for the rest of your life. But you got to believe more in order to do more. And the only way you can believe more and do more is you believe more in yourself. And a lot of people will make excuses and say, well, you know, I've been working this job for 15, 20 years, and this is all I know how to do. This is all I've ever done my whole life. But they will limit themselves into believing, because this is all they ever done their whole life, that they can't do nothing else. And that's what keeps them staying and living in poverty. So what I'm saying to you this morning is it's time to change our poverty mindset. You know, it's time. We need to change our poverty mindset and stop living in poverty and stop believing in poverty and stop listening to people that are living these poverty lifestyles and start believing in ourselves and start getting some consistency about ourselves and taking risks. Because if you look at it right now, you know, the average person that got out of poverty, they changed their mindset and they started to allow themselves to think on a bigger level and a higher level than their normal thinking pattern process, which was their subconscious mind way of thinking. They started to believe and having visualization of pictures in their head that they could do whatever they wanted to do and they could accomplish whatever they wanted to accomplish. And they was not allowing, you know, obstacles to stop them. They was not allowing people to put boundaries in front of them. And if they did, they rose over those obstacles. Those are people that are hungry and want to live a better lifestyle. Those are the people that don't want to stay in poverty. So what I'm saying to you this morning, if you're one of those people that's working a 9 to 5 and going to work every day and trading time for dollars and being time broke and drowning in student loan debt, you're living in poverty. No matter where you're at, if you don't have control over your lifestyle and you're not able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, you're living in poverty because someone else has control over your lifestyle. And it's time for you to take that control back and change that mindset and stop living in that poverty mindset and stop believing in poverty and get up and go out and make something happen. Become that action taker and that decision maker so you can get to that next level in life, because you don't know where you can go in life and you don't know what level you can get to in life until you try. You know, and the thing is, a lot of people don't try because they're afraid of failure. You know, they already make it up in their mind. I can't do that. I'm going to fail at it. I've never done nothing like that, and I won't be successful. You have to realize, if you want the next level in life, you've got to change your mindset. You got to change the way you think. You got to stop thinking negative and start thinking positive. Instead of saying you can't do that, tell yourself, I can do that. I will do that. I have what it takes to possess, to do that and be successful. And if you believe in success, success will come. You know, you have to worry about, they always say the power of life and death is in the tongue. So this is what you have to realize. You have to watch the words that you say, because when you're trying to go to the next level and you're trying to get out of poverty, you cannot have a negative mindset. You cannot have a negative way of thinking. You got to believe way beyond what you could ever imagine. It may not be a real reality, but you got to be able to use in visualization inside of your head that you've already made it to that successful level to where you are. And once you get it in here, then you can make it come to reality out here in the real life, in the real world. But you got to get it inside here first. And that's why a lot of people still live in poverty, because they don't have it in here. They don't have it in here, and then it's not here. Once you get it here and it goes down in here, now you no longer want to live that poverty lifestyle that you've been living. Now you want to live a better lifestyle. You want to live above and beyond the means of living a poverty lifestyle. And now you go out and you do the necessary things that it takes in order for you to live that lifestyle. But you cannot live that lifestyle if you have limited beliefs within yourself and what you can and cannot accomplish. So what I'm saying to you this morning is, it's time to change our poverty lifestyle. It's time for us to change our poverty mindset, because we live in a society to where we can have what we want and go for what we want. But the thing is, a lot of people don't believe in themselves to the level to where they can achieve what they want and they can get what they want. So that's what I'm saying to you this morning. You know, it's time to change our poverty lifestyle. It's time to change our poverty lifestyle. That's just the bottom line. You got to create change if you don't have what you want out of life right now. And as long as you're allowing yourself to have the poverty mindset, you're going to live the poverty lifestyle. You got to transform your mind from that conscious way of thinking, the way you grew up, to your subconscious mind, to be able to believe that you can have more than what you have. Because I can tell you right now, if you're going to a 9 to 5 each and every day, and each and every day you go to that 9 to 5, but you're always wishing that you could have more and you could do more, but you're never making no progress to do more, or never putting nothing together, or never, opening your mind like a parachute and just investing in yourself and taking a chance to see where it will lead, then you're going to stay in poverty. You're going to stay in that poverty lifestyle that you're living. So this is what I'm saying to you this morning. If you want to rise above living this poverty lifestyle, you got to rise above the poverty mindset. You've got to adapt a different mindset. You got to believe for more, and then you can achieve more. If you believe you can have more, you can achieve more. But if you don't believe that you can have more, then you're going to stay where you're at. So this is what I'm saying this morning. I challenge you this morning to take one step further than you did yesterday. So this week, I just want you to do one thing different than you did yesterday. When you woke up this morning, do something different, say something different, change your character so you can change your lifestyle. Because if you can change your character, you can change your lifestyle. If you can change your thinking pattern process, you can change your lifestyle. You have to be the one to get yourself out of living in this poverty lifestyle, but you have to be that action taker and that decision maker. I don't know what it takes. I don't know what you want out of life, but I do know what I want. I don't want to be living in poverty. I don't want to be bound down to a 9 to 5. And me personally, I made that decision, years back to invest in myself. And now here I am 10 years plus, and now I'm not living in that poverty lifestyle I was living in. But back then I had the same mindset. I believed that, all I could do was work a 9 to 5 and build somebody else's wealth. But then I realized from me doing that, it wasn't getting me what I wanted. I didn't have the time to spend with my family that I wanted to spend. I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. I couldn't go to places that I wanted to go. Me and my family could not enjoy themselves like we do now. I wasn't able to be in my kids' life like I wanted to. Like I said, I have older ones, and my older ones, my 25 and 24-year-old, I wasn't in their life because I had to work most of the time. But now I have another set. I have what you call a do-over, and I made a decision. I said, okay, God, you gave me a do-over, so I'm going to do right by these. I'm going to be in their life. I'm going to be here for them. I'm going to do what they need me to do. I'm going to be here. I'm going to guide them every step of the way. So maybe you're like me, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you have small children too, because mine is 6 and 8. And I'm in their life, and they have the joy of knowing that I'm there. And maybe you have small children and you're not in their life, but you want to be there. And this is what I'm telling you. If you want to be in your kid's life and you want to be able to be there and watch them grow, then you got to get away from living in poverty, change the poverty mindset, become that action taker and that decision maker, and invest in yourself. Because what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Say, for instance, you invest in yourself and it works. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel happy that you made that decision to become that action taker and that decision maker. But the thing is that I'm saying to you this morning is you never know how strong you are until you try. You never know what you can accomplish until you try. But if you just sit back and tell yourself, hey, I've been working a 9 to 5 for this long, and I think I'm just going to work a 9 to 5 and to retire, from the 40-40 plan, to work the 40 hours, get the 40-hour paycheck, and retire with 40% of my pay and be happy and live, because that's the way everybody else lives. So that's the way I think I should live too. You don't have to live like everybody else. You don't have to follow the masses. You can break the cycle and the curse. Say, for instance, if there's never been a first generational millionaire in your family, don't tell yourself that you cannot be the first one. You got to believe. Me, myself, personally, I believe and I know that I'm going to achieve first generational millionaire in my family because it's in here. I've already manifested it into the world. I've already used in visualization. I already see myself as a millionaire. I already see myself living that lifestyle and doing the things that millionaires do, even though I'm not there yet. But that picture of in visualization, which created that virtual reality inside of my head, and I wake up each and every day and I see it, and that just makes me more and more hungry to want it. And that just makes me more and more hungry to go get it, to go after it, to keep pushing on, to keep pushing on strong, to keep doing what I'm doing each and every day so I can get to where I need to be. So what I'm saying to you, don't limit yourself in believing that all you can do is work for somebody else and build somebody else's wealth, because you're just as smart as I am. You know, God gave you the same 5 senses he gave me, you know, and all you got to do is use them and apply them within a way to where you can be successful, to where you can get what you want out of life, because you can never rise above where you are until you realize that something needs fixing. See, a lot of people don't move on in life because they feel that saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they live by that saying. Oh man, I got a job. I should thank God. I got a job to go to each and every day. Half my bills are paid, and I got, you know, a little money in the bank. But if something really happens, and say for instance my stove go out or my refrigerator go out, now I got to spend that money out of the bank, but now I got to work some overtime to build that account back up. Why should you have to be working so hard just to live? You know, you should be making a living instead of making a living working, if that makes any sense. Because when you're making a living, now you're enjoying your life. You're enjoying, you know, the years of your life that you have left on this earth. You can enjoy them within making a living instead of making a living working. Because when you work, what you don't realize is the more you work, the more wear and tear you put on your body. The more physical work that you do, the more wear and tear you put on your body. So as you get older, your body breaks down from all these different things and all these hours you have worked and all these things you have done. So why should you want to damage your body like that when you can set your body free by just making a different decision? If you don't do nothing but just make a decision to create a second strand of income on top of what you're doing. Because I know right now that there's a lot of people out there in the world today that is sick and tired of working a 9 to 5, but they don't know what avenue to take in order to get away from it, because they've never tried. They've never tried investing in themselves. So they don't believe they can invest in themselves and be successful. They've never tried to do anything different than working for somebody else. So they don't believe that they can be successful when they're not working for somebody else, or when somebody else is not in control of your life and telling you what to do, and you trading time for dollars, and they giving you a set time to come in and a set time to go home and a set time to take your lunch break, you know, and you're a robot. But my thing is, how long are you going to live this poverty robot life? Because that's what you're living. Anytime you are accessible to a certain amount of hours that you have to be somewhere, you're a robot, because you do it each and every day. And you live this poverty robot style, but you never ever think twice about trying to do something different, trying to create a second strand of income, because you always tell yourself that you can't. So I'm challenging you this morning. It's time. It's time. It's time to change our poverty lifestyle. It's time to change our poverty lifestyle. And you got to realize it. If you haven't realized it by now, then, you know, let me ask you a question. Now, this is the thing. Everybody out there that is still working a 9 to 5, thank God I don't work a 9 to 5 no more, and I'm so blessed. But it took a sacrifice that I had to do, and some things down the line that I had to do, and I had to get uncomfortable, and I had to do a lot of things. But you know what? I don't regret not one decision that I made that got me away from working from somebody else and building somebody else's wealth. But this is what I'm saying. What you have to do, you just have to take action. You know, in some point in time, you put together a schedule and a plan and take action. You see what's out there and what's working. Because there's a lot of investments out there right now that are working well, that are bringing in money well, that are keeping people sustained and to where they can live the life that they want to live, but that's only because those people became those action takers and those decision makers, and they went out there and they did what it took in order to create that pathway to success. See, a lot of times you have to create your own pathway to success. You cannot depend on others to create it. You have to create your own pathway to success if you want to get out of living in a poverty lifestyle. Look at it like this. You created your own pathway to poverty. Why can't you create your own pathway to success? You created your own pathway to poverty when you signed up for a 9 to 5 or whatever hours you work. You created your own way to poverty because you settled for that. Now, why do you want to keep settling and keep creating your own and digging you a much bigger ditch and living in the poverty lifestyle? Why don't you try to close up that ditch and jump out of that ditch and jump back on ground and start to live in a successful lifestyle and invest in yourself and take a chance on yourself? Because what do you have to lose? You know, what you've been doing for the past 10, 15, 20 years, or however long you've been doing it, working a 9 to 5, has it given you what you wanted? Have it given you the freedom that you wanted? Do you make the finances that you think you deserve? Those are the things that you need to ask yourself. And then once you ask yourself, now you will be able to get out of that poverty lifestyle and that mindset. It's time for it's time for us to change our poverty mindset. And we cannot change our poverty mindset if we don't realize that we're in poverty. I'll say that again. We cannot change our poverty mindset if we don't realize that we're living in poverty. We don't realize it. If we don't realize it, we think nothing's wrong. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what? Guess what? You know, I make a 6-figure a year. I mean, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I make a 6-figure a year. I got a pretty decent home, a pretty decent car. But yes, you make a 6-figure a year, but you're trading time for dollars making that 6-figure a year. Do you own that 6-figure a year? Did you create that 6-figure a year yourself, or did someone else create it through you trading time for dollars for them? So yes, you're making a 6-figure a year, but you're making them millions and you're making them trillions. You're making them a trillionaire and you're only just making you a 6-figure a year. What sense does that make? Why don't you make your own self a millionaire and create your own millionaire status and pave the way for your own dream instead of living somebody else's dream? Because when you're working for somebody else, you're living somebody else's dream. You're fulfilling somebody else's dream, not your dream. You're not. You're fulfilling somebody else's dream. It's not your dream. So that's what you have to realize. You know, it's time for our poverty mindset to change. It's time. You know, and you need to realize that. So I'm just saying this morning, I challenge you this week, you know, evaluate your lifestyle and see where you are and see if you really are happy or if you're just settling. And if you're just settling, that lets you know that you're still living in poverty. You're settling because you have a 9 to 5 and you don't want to quit. You don't have to quit your 9 to 5. Just invest in yourself on top of what you're doing and take a chance and believe in yourself that you can do it. You know, because like I say it all the time, whatever the mind can conceive and achieve and believe, whatever the mind can conceive and achieve, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And that's just the bottom line. But you got to believe and you got to conceive before you can achieve. But if you're out there in the world today and you're thinking about, you know, your lifestyle, and you wake up each and every day and you hate the lifestyle you live, you are the one that can change it. Can't nobody else change it. So you have to do the necessary things that you need to do, and you have to realize that it's time to change our poverty lifestyle. mindset. It is time to change our poverty mindset. We have to change that mindset, because if you don't change your mindset from poverty living, you'll live in poverty for the rest of your life. And like I said, you just got to be that action taker, that decision maker, and do what it takes to make you satisfied. So this morning, I just want to say thank each and every one of you all for listening to my Morning Life Wake Ups. It's time to change our poverty mindset. And just remember that. I challenge you, if you got some things going on in your life that you're not satisfied with, I challenge you to strive hard and try to create change in it and make changes. And again, once again, I thank you, but I just want you to do me a favor. Like, comment, and share on this video, because I know there's somebody out there that needs to hear that it's time to change our poverty mindset. It is, because I know a lot of people don't want to continue living in poverty, but they don't know how to get out. But I can tell you, once you renew your thinking pattern process, you can change your mindset. So like, comment, and share on this video. Subscribe for my YouTube channel. And once again, this morning, I have a call to action, which is powered by Zens. And I have this brand new product called Skin Tech. It's a foam that you spray, you rub it in, it cleans, moisturizes, and protects. It keeps you protected for up to 4 hours from bacteria, viruses, harmful chemicals. And it's on my website at zensmakesense.com. If you're interested in purchasing it, click the link at zensmakesense.com down below. And like I said, for you stopping by, I have free gifts for you. I have a Bill Genius on my website, a Bill Negotiating. I have an free iGo travel website membership for you as well. So if you're interested in getting those free gifts, as a thank you from me to you for stopping by my Morning Live Wake Ups this morning, click the link below at zensmakesense.com and get your free gift. And once again, my name is Greg Young, coming to you live from Davenport, Florida. And I just want to say, if you're going out to work this morning, drive safe on the highway. When you get to work, work safe. If you're working from home, work safe. But just remember, it's time to change. It's time for our poverty mindset to change. Just remember that. It's time for our poverty mindset to change. And let that resonate with you. And when you're at work, just think about that. Think about your lifestyle and what you want out of life, and see if what you're doing right now is giving it to you. And if it's not, then that should let you know it's time for you to do something different. But once again, thank each and every one of you all for stopping by my Morning Life Wake Ups this morning. And God loves you, and so do I. And God bless each and every one of you all. And have a blessed day, and goodbye.